Hi, Keontae here of K&K Tax and Accounting Services. Be sure to tune in Wednesdays 1 to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time to find out why they call me Stacks Back. See you soon.
The headboard, the headboard, live body down. It's about to go down. We'll be banging it all night. Banging the headboard. I'll touch you right there, baby. Let's talk about it. We'll be bringing that headboard out. Let's talk about it. Tell me about it. I wanna hear about it. Yeah. Can't wait to hear headboard.
Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. What's going on, family? It is your girl, Madam Trice. I am in the building. You are logged on to Headboard Conversations, and I am excited to have you guys join me this evening. I'm a little spent, but playtime does that sometimes, and so, yes, here we go. I just didn't want to not spend the evening with you, especially with the special guest that I have this evening. I've been waiting to talk to this sister, and the opportunity has arisen, and it's like she's here. And so I'm dopely excited about that. Y'all know I make up a word here or there, such and such now and then. I'm gonna eventually take off this leather ass vest, but y'all just bear with me. It's always good, when your energy is high and stuff is flowing good. And tonight is a good night. I'm gonna just say that. We got a couple T's to cross and a couple I's to dot. You know how we do around here. We do have rules to follow, although we encourage intimacy at its fullest and openness. We want to do so in being mindful of one another. So respect is like at the top of our list. We understand that. We also understand that cordiality is at the top of the list. And then right up with that, because I feel so strongly about the necessity for consent, I want to remind you that I do have some some things that I say are what we call no zones, at least in my house. And according to my house and my rules, we want to make sure that we are abiding by those before we have to disconnect our relationship. I would hate that, but it's what it is. No animals, no old people, and no children. That is a no-no because of consent, and because I don't believe in bestiality, and because I believe that children and or seniors at some stage in their life are not permittable to offer consent. We just take it off the table, whether it's out of just general respect, whether it's just because I say so, whatever it is. That's the rule. And we're going to be mindful of that. Also, I want to remind you that this is Headboard Conversations. So we are going to talk about all things associated with things that you would do, in this place, in the bed. Welcome to my bedroom. Welcome to my space. And, this is a very intimate, but always a very adult space. So I want to remind you that if you are you uncomfortable with language that may be considered explicit, this is not the place for you tonight. If you don't like the words fuck, pussy, dick, suck, lick, cum, cunt, and all those sticky, icky, oh my gosh words. Some of the lighter words might bend your ears a little bit. If you can't manage those words, this may not be the place for you to be this evening. Not that we use them frequently, but they may come up or out, and we want to make sure that in this space and what we're talking about, because we are not in a formal boardroom situation, we're in a very casual, very lax, very comfortable space. I want to remind you that you are welcome to be here and welcome to have this type of language. All due respect. Please remember that. And it's very important that you remember that, because I will block you. I will block you so fast. It was so fast. Shout out to blowradio.com. We are also live on our Facebook page, Headboard Conversations. I believe Live with Just Patrice is active. Just Patrice is active. Blowradio.com is going down. And of course, Headboard Conversations on YouTube. And I am Just Patrice on YouTube. So we are thoroughly covered as far as our exposure for this evening. We are still working on our system, so don't fight me with all the good things. I think we got a good, strong connection right now, so we're going to be able to manage that. I want to remind you that this is a place of peace, of comfort. So if you have a cocktail that you are in need of, go get it. If you are in need of a little bit of smoke, go on and have it. Whatever it is going to do to calm you some and keep you in a space of mindfulness, a space of comfortness, to removing many of your inhibitions. And if you can manage that, it's going down. It's going down. I'm excited again to introduce you to my guest. But before I do that, I want to remind you, before you get in the bed, you got to take your pants off, babes. Okay? Remember to do that. Also, so right now, oh my gosh, you know how you be excited about company? I'm excited about company tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I have an amazing guest. Don't forget that if you are logged on, please comment so that I can say hi. I see you guys jumping on. I see you guys commenting. I'm excited about that, and I want you guys to feel comfortable with commenting. So go ahead and do that. Of course, you know you can call in 414-885-4739. It's area code 414-885-4739. Got the conversation jumping off here. And now I can introduce you to my guest. I'm so silly, but I'm so excited to have her here. Just a beautiful spirit. I think we physically met in passing a couple times, but I met and had the chance to talk with her and share cocktails with her like once, twice, maybe. And just something about her energy radiated to me. And I'm like, I want to connect with this sister. You know what I mean? I want to know what she knows, and I want to share. Like I was just so, you know what I mean, it's like drawn to her. And then when I found out that she was into that she was a doula, and that she was into I think is fertility education, I was like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? So like she just got a mother spirit, and that's why, you know what I mean? She's a nurturer, she's a motherer, and that energy in itself drew me in. And then I found out a couple other 2-3 things, and I was like, oh, her's a kindred spirit. Yes, there she goes. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to Miss Tam Inspires. Hello, Queen. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Trice? I'm glad to be here. Like, finally. Oh my gosh. I love what you're doing, sister.
Thank you.
Keep liberating the minds. Like, I love what you're doing. And I love your get up, that leather, girl. I had to look at my closet. I was like, I still got my little leather little thing too.
See? Yes. Yes, indeed. Like, you know, every now and then I try to do a little something, but I literally had a little playtime before, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it on. And so here we are. Bam, bam.
Looking good, girl. You
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So let's take a moment to introduce my audience to who you are. Hello, Monique. Hello, Kadada. Hello, Shamika. Girl, don't you know, every time I see Shamika's name, because she helps to manage a company called The Munchies. And every time I see her, I think of food. That's messed up. Cause I'm like, I need to go on and block Shamika. You know what I'm saying? But I love her. She's a great person. I just want to say that. Hey girl, so let's talk about Tam. Tam Inspires. Like, so that is the brand that you rock, right?
Yes,
so let's talk about that, and then we'll talk about the different arms of Tam Inspires, okay?
Okay. Well, for those who don't know me, people call me Tam, but I'm also known as Tam Inspires. I'm a fertility educator, fertility doula. Pretty much, I help women get off of birth control and start tracking their cycles naturally in 21 days or less. And I love this journey because Like, I'm getting sisters off of birth control. I'm getting sisters coming back to our natural selves without having to take any artificial birth control. So I love this journey. I love introducing it to different women. And, it's not just for women who want to have kids. You have sisters like me, that's single and may not want to have kids in this season. So it's a way of tracking your ovulation to prevent pregnancy too. So
that's funny that you said that, because I'm putting together a panel of men, actually, hopefully within the next week or two, and we were talking about how sometimes they take certain liberties. Shooting up the club is the conversation that we were having, and I was like, I don't know many sisters who haven't been in a situation where you are romantically connected to somebody that be like, oh, I can't wait for him to shoot up my club. I'm gonna be so pregnant when we done. Like, I don't know them. I'm trying to find them so I can talk to them. But I'm saying that because it's good to hear you say that it's important for us. We need to know when our body is ovulating, when our body is, so that we can be like, if I take this chance, or am I taking a chance, or am I risking, what I'm saying, pregnancy, if I'm ready for that or not. You know what I mean? I love that.
Yes. And, I break it down. I'm real, and I like to do things practical. I don't have time for this medical jargon, because you lose your clients that way. But yeah, like, I don't know too many sisters that, are very free with men shooting up the club either. I think it's about consent. And also, when you have a partner, you need to let your partner know if you're on birth control or not, because then they'll assume, and then if some shit hits the fan, then I thought you was on birth control. No. So,
I don't believe that we said that we was on birth control, sir.
They assume.
It is. Oh, trust me when I tell you that the things that I found out, and I find out more and more every time I have this conversation. Like, I've been having it for years, but every time I have it, I found out about the little slip and slide. That's when they slide in and they manage their stroke so that they be sliding the condom off. And I was like, I'll fight you, sir.
Yeah.
But being in control of our bodies, and I say this all the time, that this is my body. And I am in control of what is happening in, on, and around it, unless someone takes me. You get what I'm saying? So I'm responsible for being mindful, even if my partner is not. And I love that you are, like, you're like teaching that empowerment.
Yes.
How you be talking to people who's like, oh no, I wasn't crazy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, we got to speak up. It is like, it's our body, our choice. Because everything falls on us. If we get pregnant, usually it falls on the women. Like, statistics show that. There's just no other way. Statistics show that most of the times when we get pregnant, we're the ones taking care, and the men get to fully, do what they do. Or even if they are, if they are a father, the child usually stays with the mother. So it's just being conscious of your actions and knowing that it can be, good or bad consequences. So.
Indeed. So, like, let's talk a little bit about, I'm knowing what I want to be able to just give our sisters a little heads up. Like, your body has all these telltale signs of things. You know what I'm saying? What are some key things to look for? That we can talk about, that we can, because I want people to reach out and acquire your services. But since we're talking about it a little bit, I want to give them a little something so they know. Yeah, she knows, sis.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, number one, sisters and brothers, because y'all need to learn too. I mean, a lot of us, when we feel really sensual and amorous, like we just feeling ourselves, and it's just something about our smell, the way that we walk, our sway, the way we flip our hair, the way we look at you, we probably ovulating. Ovulating. Some of us, we just in heat, like we just in heat 24/7, but most of us are going through the ovulation. I mean, our lips are juicier, our breasts are fuller, like everything is just plumper, even our other lips. You know what I'm saying?
I'm through now. Yes.
That's one sign of ovulation. as well as, when your vaginal discharge gets ushy gushy. And I'm not talking about that porno creamy stuff, because that's questionable. We'll go into that.
We're gonna talk about that. Yes.
Yeah, so usually when you have egg white discharge or clear discharge, that is a high sign that you are extremely fertile and you need to watch out. Like, I do not recommend the pull out game, because unless he's a pro at it, your chances are high of getting pregnant. And if you have the creamy discharge, a lot of women do, but a lot of times, I look at it like this. When you have a cold, if I blow my nose right now, most of the time my snot is going to be clear, right? And that's a sign of my body is healthy. My body is expelling healthy mucus. But when it becomes creamy, then it's a sign of, you may have a little bit more yeast, than usual, and you may be on your way to an infection. And that infection can be caused by your partner, but we don't want to get into BV, because that's a whole nother topic. But creamy and egg white discharge, sign of fertility. What else can I say? Just higher pitch voice. Oh my gosh. Like me, like I'm like a baritone in the morning, but like when I'm ovulating, I'm like, hey, how you doing? It gets higher. Like,
okay. So your voice change, your breast change, your body fluids change.
Mm-hmm. I smell pheromones and everything. Like it's and then the thing about that is men can change when we ovulate too, based off of his pheromones. It's all hormonal. So I teach that in my course. Like, we break it down. And I also, a lot of people that come to me, they are in a relationship, and it's not gender specific. But if they are in a relationship with a male, I always say, number one, your partner should know your cycles too. They need to know, when you're ovulating, when you're on your period. And he also has hormonal changes too. He's not always up all the time. He may be down and you may be up. So you need to figure out how to balance it out. So
see, now, when you tell a man that y'all have y'all periods too, they don't want to hear it like that. Okay, so you don't cause your period. You have a cycle.
Yep. Sure do. They go through the hormonal fluctuations too. Yep. I teach
them. Tell them.
Yeah, you do. That's
sir, you be tripping, sir, sometimes.
And the thing about that is, we sisters need to not write that off because they're not having a period. You know what I'm saying? We need to be like, we need to mark on our calendars. Okay, he a little bitchy right now, so I'm gonna mark this down, because it's with my partners, and it is factual. It's like, okay, during the third week of the month, okay, so he got a little attitude. So we all have to be in tune. So with each other. So yeah.
Indeed. What do you like most about this kind of work?
How liberating it is. Like, I don't knock sisters who's on birth control, because I was in that season of my life. I thought that was liberation for me. And it was at that time, because it was like, yo, I can be on artificial birth control and I don't have to worry about having a baby. But then I got off of it and I found out that was true liberation, because I wasn't dependent on a hormone to prevent pregnancy for me.
Okay. So learn your body and your body's natural
cycle. Yes. And then I noticed, like, just a different change. It's like the men I attracted was different. I attracted a more holistic men. And it could be because my pheromones changed. Like, people don't know your pheromones are different when you have artificial chemicals in you. Indeed. It really is.
Indeed. So with, like, you have, like, literally, so you have this, and please, if I'm crossing lines, you understand, please let me know.
That's fine.
So you have this, like, this natural, just like you have an air of, I'm fly as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Yes, like, it's in the way your shoulders move. It's in the way you like that type of confidence. It's like a self-realization or self-actualization or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, were you always that comfortable with yourself? Like, did you come into that?
I've always been this way. My mom, like, she's my beautiful Nubian queen. She always told us that we were Nubian queens. And so, back in the day, people would, make fun. That's what kids do. But she always would say, you're beautiful, and always walk with your shoulders straight and your chest up and your head. Like, it was my mother. And I still embody that essence, that confidence.
I'm saying that because I love it, and I'm bringing attention to it on purpose, because a lot of people not question, but you know what I'm saying, when you're this comfortable with your femininity, you know what I'm saying, they automatically assume that you know you are against masculinity. You know what I'm saying? And when you are into you know, loving on who you are and walking in the sweetness of being a woman, and so fly. You know, I'm telling you, this is so dope to me. Like when you walk in that, and you just walk in, and just like it's airy, it's everywhere, and you moving and you carrying yourself. Like tell me about how the comparativeness of how you are not like anti-masculine. If what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, how am I not anti-masculine? Well, I have my masculine ways. When I think of masculinity, I don't think it's just like the baritone voice and, you know, being cocky and stuff like that. You know, I'm getting all, you know, trying to be masculine. I'm failing at that. But we have different, when I think of feminine masculine, I think of like different energies, like a pull and a push and a pull, you know, action, yin and yang, things like that. And so society has given us these roles. And I always say you have to embody what you feel. Some women are more masculine, and that's what they want to embody, you know, because they may find a man that's more feminine and that works for them. But for me, I guess it just depends on the situation. I know when to be more feminine, have that feminine energy, and I know when to use my masculine energy as a single woman, because we have to. You know, I have to provide for myself. I have to go to work every day. I have to, you know, assemble furniture and cook and all kind of things. So yeah.
Shout out to everybody that's joined the conversation. Steve Big Blue Gladney has joined the conversation. A couple of fake Facebook users. Hello, Facebook users. One of them says, "Okay, so I've been on point telling mine like it must be that time of the month for you." I'm assuming that that Facebook user is feminine, and she's talking about her guy. Yes, you probably are on point. Arlisha Doctor join the conversation, especially when you are single. You have to. Yep. Hey, girl.
Hey, that's my girl. That's my girl.
Nice. So, understanding just self and comfortability. Like, so do you teach? Like, let me not assume. What are some of the things that you teach? Like, in which areas do you teach?
I educate women and men because I would love to have women bring their partners. You know, how else is it going to work? It can't be one-sided, you know, especially if you're trying to conceive. But I teach hormonal cycles. Like we break down the top 5 hormones both men and women have when it comes to our reproductive system. I teach the spirituality of fertility because, you know, I'm a hoodoo worker. So I do a little conjure magic with fertility dolls and different herbs and planetary, like, you know, during the moon phases, new moon, full moon, waning, waxing, and how it relates to your astrology signs. I do a lot. And then I love my bonus classes because everybody don't have a man. Everyone doesn't have a partner. Some women are promiscuous, and that is what it is. Like I found holistic fertility when I was more promiscuous. And so I call it holistic fertility. It's for the whole. Yeah, it is. Because if you don't have a main partner, then you are all alone. So it's like, so you have to be extra careful, you know? So yeah, and then you can't be consciously careless. A lot of us are.
Explain that. What do you mean when you say consciously careless?
Consciously careless is pretty much, I know for a fact I'm ovulating. I track my cycles. I got that ushy gushy stuff. Like I want it now, you know, any kind of way. And I have unprotected sex and he don't pull out. That's consciously careless. I know that all the signs point to, hey, I'm fertile as hell. And I still risk having unprotected sex with that man, knowing damn well I don't want to have kids and he don't want to have kids. So I made a conscious decision, and you know that's what it is.
I'm loving that accountability, sis. I'm loving it. That putting the responsibility in our hands.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time. This is our body. These are our choices. You know what I mean? And if you are going to be able to choose whether or not you carry this child, then let's be also conscious on whether or not we are receiving in the times where we know the baby could be created. Because if they're not, are we not being irresponsible to not just own our own bodies and our own lives, but to the life of the possible child? Am I right?
Yeah, but a lot of stuff goes on hormonally, like the discipline part. Even me, that's why I can talk about being consciously careless, because I have been many, many times, and the baby has not fully manifested. So
listen. I'm judgy not. At least you can judge. I say not. I know I have.
You go like, okay, we're gonna do this right. You gotta make sure you pull out, or we gotta use condoms. Next thing you know, you get all hot and heavy, and everything
It's going down. It's going down right now. Then you be laying there like this.
Yeah. But baby, you got $50 for a plan B.
I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, but that's real talk, and that's what I want. I don't want to have. There's no shame. There is no shame. You can come to me whether you married, single, bisexual, homosexual. Like, it doesn't matter. It's for everybody. There's no shame. I refuse to shame any woman or any man. It's like we're human. We're having a human experience. When we mess up all the time. So,
because that's what humans do, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, we gotta learn from it though.
Right, it's what it is. Do you when you talk to these couples and you have these conversations about fertility or whatever the case may be, I know you have to be trusted, because they're welcoming you into some very private spaces. I know you're privy to information that the average person would not be about these particular people. How do you as a person who is open to receive this much information, and I'm assuming that you did say that you were a hoodoo worker, and you also have some just a lot of energy work that you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
How do you keep, like, let me get that real quick. Okay. All right. Oh, thank you. Y'all done? Okay. And then put it over here. You know what I'm saying? Without like taking that in for judgment, if that's the way, that's the best way to put that. Because looking at it, sometimes you probably be like, you did what? Oh, okay. So how do you give that advice or engage or teach, or you get what I'm saying, without the judgment?
Well, because I've been there, done that.
Okay.
That's why. Like, seriously, I've failed so many times on my fertility journey. But one thing I do tell each couple is, especially the men, you have to support her. It takes two. It does take two. And or she needs to have a support group, because it's not easy by yourself, doing this by yourself.
Okay.
Like, natural fertility awareness is tough when you don't have a support group. I have girlfriends who I've taught this and they still call me. Okay, so what's going on? Okay, the graph says, my temperature rose and my discharge is creamy. Am I fertile? Yes, you are. Like, I can look at people's chart and just can tell what hormonal cycle you're going through right now. Like, I have an eye for it because I've been doing it for over 7 years.
Nice.
Yeah, but the judgment, like, it's just, you just try to, I don't know. It's just because I've been there, you just been there, and it's like we're having a human experience and we fuck up
like that. Are you so I think I heard you mention earlier that you were single.
Yeah, my roster I have no roster. It's crazy, but it's okay. I focus on securing the bag, baby.
Oh, well, okay then. Okay. Yeah. So in the moments of because we all get them, and I'm not saying you don't have a fix it person. But under the circumstances, when you're in that space and you have right now, like, are you comfortable with self-pleasuring? Like, is that like your go-to, or
I think that's very healthy. Yes, self-pleasuring is very healthy. And I mean, and we all know, let's be real, my roster may be none, but I can just call up who I want to call up when I want to call up and get my fix.
She's like, yeah, so hello.
Yeah.
Okay, with that comfortability and that freedom, because that's what it is for in my mind.
Mhm.
Also, do you feel like um how do you say that it creates a false sense of like a false space of comfort? You know what I mean? Like sometimes I can, like me, for me personally,
Mhm.
post divorce,
Mhm.
and I'm because I can be like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Let's get this situation taken care of, and still take care of all the things I had to take out with all of the other, things that come along with
Uh-huh.
relationship stuff. I've gotten, there's a little space to lull that I'm sitting in. Like, do I want to get comfortable in this space, or like, so do you find yourself managing that, or do you just like, no, if it comes along, I'm good for a relationship, or I kind of like it here.
Sometimes I feel like a nut, sometimes I don't. It just depends on what season I'm in. Like, seriously. Like, for me, I'm a Libra. I'm all Libra. I'm air sign, so I flow I flow where I flow. And so nothing is just set in stone with me. If I'm feeling a brother and I want to get my fix, I'm going to get my fix. But it's an understanding between us. I'm mature. The men that I engage with are very mature and they have an understanding. And most of them, because I am I like to say I'm a polyamorous, but I'm also a monogamous woman. Like the men, some of the men may be attached, already. So we have a mutual understanding like, hey, this is what it is. I enjoy our energy exchange and I go back to, being me.
So, we get a lot of flack for women who are comfortable in that space. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like, how do you how do you manage to be comfortable in your skin under those types of circumstances? Because people assume that well, why would she be with somebody who was already in a situation? You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And I'm like, how do you, not that somebody would address it with you, because you got to be bold as fuck to be like, so why you in somebody's business anyway? But people, listen.
I, I define
Yes.
I define my life. I define my relationships. I don't let society define it. You can talk to people who have known me since I was in middle school, and they've always known that I've been polyamorous. I'm like, I like you, and I like you, and I like your brother too, and I like your daddy, and I like your uncle. Not saying I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do with them. I just have an inclination towards liking or desiring multiple men. And sometimes I just vibe with one of them and they may be attached and we have a mutual agreement. It's not something that I look for. It happens. I think it's just alignment. And again, mature people, mature conversations. It works out. Nothing is hidden. I don't get my emotions involved. It is what it is, you know? And sometimes emotions do get involved sometimes. Let's be real. Like sometimes that does happen, but what do you have to do? Because you are the extra, the outsider, you have to move on and know that the universe is abundant and another one is going to come along too. And that one might be single. You
That's it. And I'm glad to hear you say that, because a lot of people assume that just because you are able to say, you know what, I understand the situation and I'm good with where we are, and or if things need to end, I understand that, and then I'll transition comfortably, or not comfortably, I'll transition expeditiously
Yeah.
without the drama. That doesn't mean that I didn't care,
Right.
or that I wasn't, connected in this space. It just meant that, and I'm gonna give my answer, and then you tell me what you would assume, that I'm mature. One,
Mm-hmm.
two, I understand this. I made this decision. I
Yeah.
understand what the ins and outs were,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm-
Yeah. You honor the season that you had with that person or persons. And it's not saying the door is closed. It's just like, hey, you're shifting. You're
mm,
shifting. And that door it may open back up. And it's happened many times to me. Open back up and you enjoy that season again. And then, the door may, kind of stay cracked a little bit for you to come again. Like, it's like, who's defining our lifestyles? Society? The
that,
movies?
that is very interesting.
They're dysfunctional as hell anyway. So who are they to point a finger?
Nice. Have you ever been partnered to a couple?
Not officially. because I'm in and out.
Okay.
It doesn't work out for me a lot, because a lot of times couples want me to just be in their relationship, and I can't vibe with that energy because I believe in abundance. It's like, yo, if I'm vibing with a brother and y'all married or y'all are in a long-term relationship and I get I'm connecting with a single brother, I'm most likely going to go towards the single brother, because he's more accessible.
Yeah.
I have access to him than making arrangements with the couple. So yeah.
I love these types of conversations because I think it helps people to understand what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people, not sometimes, people always make assumptions on what they think it looks like and what they think is happening.
They have no idea how it is. It's like, oh, you with a couple? Are y'all doing threesomes? And all. It's like, what works for me? I'm just focused on the man. I like dang-a-lang, he spends time with me, and then she, does what she does, and it's they know. I know that I'm not primary, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that for whatever season I'm, in
for that season.
Yeah, for that season, because then I'm gonna probably move on because that's just
what Libras do.
Yeah.
Look what Libras do.
For Libras, we flow. Air is flow. We can't be caged in. We just, flow.
That's very interesting. Also, another reason why I understand our connection, as I'm a Gemini.
Okay. Oh yeah, the air. Oh yeah, you don't like me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It makes a lot of sense, right?
Now it makes all the sense. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I understand. And you know what? When you think about the Libra, it's a scale. So it's like we try to maintain our balance. I'm Libra Sun, Moon, and my Venus sign is in Libra. So I have a lot of that Venus energy. So I try to maintain my balance. So if maintaining my balance means stepping away from this couple and being by myself, or engaging with another gentleman, then so be it.
It's funny. I recently found out that my sun and my moon are Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a really tough time processing that because of the way that I feel about Virgos, and I'm like, okay, let me just understand that. So while I'm working through understanding that, I was like.
But what makes sense? You're a great communicator. You're very analytical, so that makes sense. But you need that grounded energy. That earth sign energy. It grounds you. It really does. You need that. You really do.
Yeah, apparently I do, because it showed up in the sun and the moon. You understand what I'm saying? Like, bam, she gonna need it all.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so. Listen, Shamika, I know you're a Virgo queen. Like I'm a Virgo, and you the food taunter. Listen, Shamika. Listen.
It's okay. I'm a Virgo Libra cuss, but I'm more Libra.
She said Libra. So, when you are like finding couples to fertility couples, do people come to you? Like, are you research? Like, how do people contact you?
They come to me, like, just random. Like, my clients are from different places. I love that. Like, I made a video about how sometimes our target audience or demographic is not just local, because, like I said, the universe is abundant. Energy it just flows. And so a lot of times the women reach out to me, but they want to get their partner involved. And I always say that if you have a partner, please, let them come to the session, let them learn your cycles too, so that they can be held accountable. It shouldn't just fall on us if you got a whole partner, who's laying next to you. Just saying. It should be, togetherness.
Okay. So I think I saw also in your resume that you're an author. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have an ebook. I'm an educator by nature, but yes, I have an ebook, and I have a book that is coming very soon. I'm making some adjustments, and it's going to be on Amazon by 2022. Yeah.
Can we get a little sneak about what it's about? A little something?
It's about holistic fertility and my journey, and herbs for birth control. Like I have made so many different medicinal herbs to alter it. When you think about pharmaceuticals, they are inspired by nature. And so I went back to nature and I found out what I can use to manipulate our hormones naturally to prevent pregnancy or to stimulate ovulation to increase the chances of pregnancy. So I go through that and my spiritual journey of helping women get pregnant through hoodoo. I always say when people get when people hang around me or I give readings to them, they always wind up pregnant. That is it's
yourself.
Yeah.
Goodbye. I said goodbye. Note to self.
That's why people swear to me. They be like, "Oh, I'm gonna be pregnant, messing around, hanging out with her." I'm like, "You probably will. You probably it's that fertility juju, girl. And I gotta watch it. I gotta watch for myself. So,
Girl, listen. Don't scare me. I was trying to say we have to do lunch or something. Even I do, because I believe that you just never know that things happen the way they're supposed to happen. Even though I'm missing or whatever, they're missing or what.
Yeah.
What
things happen?
Not even possible. And then I'm calling you on the ASAP. Hello, what did you do? Why did you do this to us?
Well, it's my ancestors. They are womb workers. They really are. And
nice.
And if it's not conceiving a baby, it's creating something else. I always say, a lot of people out here are breeders.
Come on now.
They know how to do, because they breed so much because they're not actually creating something else, like a job. They don't have purpose. They feel like their purpose. I don't think they feel. I just think by default, that's all they know what to do. That feels good. It's an escape, kind of like drugs and things like that. So they just have multiple partners, a lot of sex, and they create in a very dysfunctional way. So yeah, it's a negative side to fertility. It really is.
That is interesting, and I'm glad to hear you use it in that capacity. So it's not just about birthing children; that it could be, birthing other things, like birthing ideas, birthing, you know what I'm saying, just energy, whatever the case may be. And if you help to facilitate that.
Yeah.
Now I need to be under your skin. See, now you done drawed me in.
Because once that energy's cleared and the portal's open, baby.
Yes. Now I feel to be under your skin. I need to be under it.
Yeah, and manifest, through the portal. Like you talked about self-pleasure. Like that's a great way to conceive,
Is it?
Not a baby.
Yeah, is it?
It's the same thing. Like once you have that beautiful orgasm and everything is contracting, your vaginal muscles are contracting, like it's the same thing as having a baby. And sometimes when it's really intense, you feel a push, and some people talk about the tantra experience, but when you feel that push, I'm not very well versed in it, but when you push like that last hard orgasm, like it's like visualize what you desire in life and birth it. So yeah,
I'm using that right there in that moment. I'm still in that right there in this moment. I'm going to use that as soon as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sex helps with birth. Yeah, sex does. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. I believe that. I believe that because I believe in manifestations. I believe that when you're intimate, and you're truly being intimate with someone, you know what I mean? Then you open yourself up for vulnerability.
Yeah.
If you're in touch with yourself in a capacity that you can open yourself up that way too, then opening that door. I agree with you 130%. What I am learning though, and like I said, I'm still in some learning processes, is that doors open two ways.
Go ahead, sister.
That door's open two ways. And you got to be mindful, like when you opening the door to let things out, to not let nothing sneak its little funky ass in. I was like, listen, okay, so I was like, okay, have been meditating and like really just trying to open myself up to be able to connect and be able to. And then I started noticing that like randomly, because my let me tell you, my inbox be like the Mojave. I ain't gonna never lie. Okay, my phone. If it ain't business related, this mug just look like. See how black it is? It be like an abyss. It's nothing. Okay, nothing. But what I noticed, like when I really started meditating and like trying to, connect in that space, like I started getting all these really weird friend requests and stuff, and I'm like, where did you come from?
That energy.
Where? Oh,
portal.
It's not yours, sir. Get out of here.
They're like, what? Who's? It's like an echo. Hello. Like. Yeah, you gotta close the portal. You gotta learn how to close the portal. We weren't taught that. We should have been taught how to do it properly.
Yes, I would love that. I would love
orgasms.
Let's talk about orgasms. The difference between orgasms and coming.
Oh, depends on if you're a man or a woman, right?
Indeed. So let's talk about it from both capacities.
What's your opinion of coming, like versus orgasms?
My opinion. I believe that an orgasm in the way that I grasp it is a physical sensation. And so it's not just the body fluid thing or whatever. It's like a next level of your body's experience in this moment.
Right.
Okay. I believe when you come, it's like a physical climax. And that's pretty much it. So whether it's just your body's response, a body's release of mucus response, or whether your nipples change, your body, all of that change during stimulation anyway. But I think it's like different levels. So you get aroused, and then once the arousal happen, and you peak arousal, then you come, and then once you peak coming, you're gonna tend to reach this other level of the experience, and there's an orgasm. You know what I mean? That's what I be looking for. I don't know about other people, but I'm always looking for
that. Yeah.
Let me see that one though. Look at me on the shelf. Like, I want this one.
And and that's where the tantra. I wish we could have somebody on here that teaches tantra, because I know there's like different levels of intimacy, and they go into different the kundalini energy and all of that. Like, but I do agree with you, especially like from the male perspective. A lot of males can actually what we call nut, but some of them don't even have orgasms. They just expel the seminal fluids, and that's it. They don't really have that divine lasting moment, that connectiveness. So yeah, that's really a shame.
So I was asking the other day when I was talking to those guys. So I was randomly after having a conversation with my friends, I randomly engaged like about 30 different guys, like via text. Hey, let me ask some questions real quick. And it was like, what? And I asked them about the number of times that they could actually come, or whatever the case may be, in a day, and in a 3-4 hour period. And I found that, like, on average, just the people I talked to, whatever, we had about 3, right? And then after 3, there's some discomfort because of the muscles and the way that their penises are created, and the nerves. They was like, too much of that, and I don't care what he tell you, it's hurt, fam. So understanding that, and then one guy, while I'm going through all of that, to say that one of the guys was like, he had created a situation where he had come, and then he had an orgasm that lasted literally 3/4 of his day.
Oh wow.
And because of that, like he couldn't do much of anything. Like, he was sore. He kept having to lay down, like literally prostrate.
Yeah.
And like it was like he was being completely taken over. And he said it felt good for the moment, like he said, but like all day of that shit. He said I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, oh,
it's like earthquake. What do they call the after shakes? Like,
baby, listen, I love those.
You be at work, you be like, ooh.
Like, yeah. Yeah,
Like,
that I love that. I'd be like,
yeah, girl, yeah.
so based the way I explain it. So is that what am I in the right area about that as far as orgasm?
Yeah, I think, I mean, that's my own opinion too. It's like, just coming is more, primal, and then having an orgasm, that climax, that cosmic orgasm is like energetic, So yeah, and yeah, I would have to study a lot because a lot about that because it's deep. It's,
Do you find that your partners are greater, or no, excuse me, I'll ask that second. But do you find yourself more appeased to give pleasure to your partner orally or vaginally?
do I give pleasure to my partners or
Do you prefer?
I prefer to be catered to because I'm a fucking goddess.
Did you see
So,
it? Did you see the shoulder and the head lift? Y'all didn't see that. I saw it again. I loved that.
like seriously, like
Yeah.
everybody has their own style. I guess it depends. So if I meet a man who's more, he's more in tune with his feminine, then I'll get in my masculine role and I'll be more dominant, right? But most of the time, I'm like, no, like I want you to cater to me. Like,
Okay.
and I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything because I attract men who want to do that.
Right. So what do you mind sharing what that looks like?
Well, number one, it starts with the intellect because you're a Gemini too, so that intellectual stimulation is everything. That openness,
Everything.
to spirituality, because my spiritual practices is like if they don't vibe with it or try to get to know, that's So I look at that, and then also I love physical touch. I love public displays of affection. I love wordplay. I love etymology. Like it's something about a man who knows the big words and prefixes. It's something about that,
Yes, girl. Yes.
Yeah, and then it's like he's into me, like intimacy into me. He sees me. He makes eye contact. He's just all in this sauce, and I need to be intrigued by him. And that's a good way to get me there, and
to be intrigued by him. I like
it. I have to be. And then, foot rubs and scalp rubs, just cater to me. Like, cause I'm a lazy lover. My girlfriends and I was like, we ain't gotta do work because good pussy ain't gotta do work. Now we will do work.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, we will do work, but no, you gonna cater to me.
I like that. So like you like foot rubs and just pampering.
Yeah.
Look at Michelle Simmons says, my friend.
She look, I'm just gonna laugh. She already knows. But I love to be catered to. I love that because because I'm a caterer, I'm a nurturer. When I'm really feeling the brother, I reflect that back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crystal said, orgasm to me is the exchange of a unique energy, mind, body, and soul. When we come, we just exchanging nuts.
Yep. It's more primal. Come is just more primal, and orgasm is more energetic. Like the mind, body, and soul. Yep, I agree with you, girl. I agree.
I think that's so dope.
Yeah,
I think that people. That's kind of like, this is why I have this show, so that we can talk about these types of things and people don't feel so alone, quote unquote, in their ideas of intimacy.
Yeah.
Or what I'm saying, or what's required for, pleasure. And again, I placed a note, a strong stamp at the beginning of the show. Listen, no animals, no old people, no kids. It's necessary.
This is for the mature.
That's what I'm saying. Come through right here. Let's talk about, have mature conversation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, and some people listen with their partners. Some people listen alone and want to take the conversation back to their partners and want to learn how to feel, like a goddess.
Yes.
Want to learn how to feel comfortable in themselves and or to be able to tell their partners, I'd like to try blah, 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 blah. So, and with that being the question on the table, I'm going to ask you, how do you tell your lover who has been doing a good job, like a great job, not something that you experienced in the past, or maybe something that you saw and would like to experience. How do you have that conversation with them?
I just bring it up, like this one brother I was talking to, we weren't intimate at all, but I showed him a picture of I think they call it shibari, the rope play. And it was a man tied up and a woman was, pretty much catering to him. And it was a whole video on Twitter. And I was like, are you open to this? And he was like, oh, no. And I was like, okay, well, at least I know, instead of trying to tie you up on, So it's just having that open conversation, and then I think we shouldn't assume just because one partner like that doesn't mean I like that, and we shouldn't push it. So it goes back to, we need to have conversations either before or afterwards, because you may try some stuff on me and I'm like, nah, buddy, nah,
And see, and because I'm all about, I'm a consent person. And so I believe in having a conversation about some things, and I would never show up in full mask with a ball gag, and then you like, what the fuck? And I'd be like, oh, okay, well, let me take it off. Somebody, I'm probably gonna talk to you about it first. But again, like I hear a lot of questions, and people ask me like, why do you call yourself Madam? Well, because this is my shit.
Yes.
Do you understand that this is my space, my house, my rules, and you can be here or not.
Yeah.
And they like, oh. And then my energy changes real quick in that space. And like, then I go back. So I mean, if that's okay, they're like, how did you listen? I'm not here for discomfort for anybody, how and ever.
Yes.
Let's be clear about that. There are some things that I enjoy and I want to be able to do them. I'm gonna talk to you about them first. I would never just spring. Okay, you can't spring ass play on me.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't, because you might catch an elbow. I'm just keeping it 100.
Yeah.
That's probably not a good idea for you, sir.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But some people be like, well, if we just in the mood and I'm gonna just try it. Everybody not that. Know your partner.
Not that open.
Know your partner. I mean, there's some stuff that we can try, but I just had a conversation with me. And so I want to encourage people to talk about it. And if you're unsure how to, then this is why I create this format. Let's learn how to have these conversations. Yeah. So if you have I found or am finding that a lot of people are in forced, for lack of better words, relationships. Like you there, but it ain't like really, you don't cross all. You got a list of stuff that's unwritten. It don't even cross like half the list, fam. You just in there,
complacent, comfortable, just we're good enough. That's good enough. You'll do placeholder. That's what they call them, placeholders.
I'm gonna have to say no. Like, how do you feel about those type of situations? Like, do you encourage them? Do you like, what is your thought on that?
On the consent, like
on placeholder relationships.
I guess it depends. Well, if you're exclusive, I don't agree with that. Like, no, I'm not going to be, because that's not fair. That's not fair to the other partner, because that partner thinks that you the forever ever. And you're really just in the meantime, in between time, until something better comes. That is not fair. That is not fair at all. So I don't agree with it, because I see so many people, especially my sisters out here, that are in their 30s and 40s, and they looking for their forever ever, and that person's just looking for the placeholder, and they get the feelings hurt, and it's just, I don't agree with that. Even for myself, it's like, I know when a man is just a placeholder. It's like, yeah, this ain't gonna work out, but I'm gonna have fun until. Do
you communicate that to your partner?
Now I do. I'm almost what? Look, I forgot my age. Age doesn't matter. But I'm at a point in my life where it's like, if I'm talking to you, then we need to know what this is. Are we just gonna have a friendship? Are we looking for something long term? And if for any reason anything shifts in the energy, let me know.
Right.
I can like move on, or like just let me know. No hard feelings. Like the universe is abundant. Just like you found me, I can find somebody else, and you can find somebody else who's more in alignment with you.
Right.
But people don't do it. People don't.
I love you said it's called maturity, but people don't do it. People don't.
They don't. Like we're having a human experience. We're trying to figure this shit out. We are.
Come on. Sometimes it's so enlightening to talk to people that when you be like, so I really wasn't crazy. Like I'm just saying, like you be like, yes. I love that, and I love that you project that energy in it. And for me personally, you know what I'm saying, it offers just a kindred confirmation. So I do appreciate your sharing, because it makes it so that I understand, you know what? Okay, so sometimes life puts you on this journey, and it wants you to discover some things. So yes. Yes. I see you, Michelle. She said people get too comfortable and afraid to start over.
Yep. Especially when you're older and you have kids. It is hard. It is hard.
Then she said, yes, keep it real. We growing as hell. Monique said, love it. Hello, Monique. Glad to have you join the conversation as well. If you guys want to call in, you're welcome to do so. The call-in number is 414-885-4739. Or sometimes y'all like having a text conversation because it's quote unquote safer, but you can call in, and if you want to call in anonymously, as long as you do so respectfully, I'm going to invite you to do that, because I will hang up on you. I want people to understand, like, it's a thing. I don't have no problem. Back in the day, you would hear dun 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 dun. I'm not against the click. I missed that sound too. That
yep,
it's a thing.
Yeah.
Like, what? Did you hang up on me? Yes, I did.
No sound. It's like, hello.
It's just gone. Just all of a sudden, it's gone. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yep.
Yes. So you're welcome to call in. You're welcome. I encourage you to comment. I'm glad that Michelle and Monique are commenting. I see a few other. Crystal is commenting. You guys are. Shamika is. I see you guys logged on, and I would love for you to comment so that we can shout you out and show you a little love. Whoever Facebook user is, they're commenting. Hello, Facebook user. I know I got a couple people logged on to YouTube, so that's exciting. Hello, YouTube watchers. I'm glad to have you guys join the conversations as well. This is Headboard Conversations. I'm your host, Madam Trice. I am hanging out with my sister friend, Tam Inspires, and we're just talking about comfortability with sexuality. We had a little bit of conversation about fertility wellness, and learning a little bit about her business, and that how she educates and what she educates about, and creating an opportunity to have good conversation and healthy conversation about what, Gary, you did not miss the live healthy conversation about intimacy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take a moment to welcome Gary to the show. Gary is a long-time listener and all the time commenter when he's here, and Gary is very entertaining and very spicy per se, and I have to remind Gary several times throughout the show of our number one rule, and I hope that Gary today is feeling good. Thank you for chiming in out of Texas, Gary, and all of your great energy. We appreciate you here. So Tam, when you what's the first thing you notice about someone, male or female? What's the first thing you notice?
If their energy is inviting, I sit back and I watch, observe a lot, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to see how they interact. And sometimes if I do see a person that may be like a lone wolf, I sometimes go over there just to break that energy, just to fill them out,
Really?
Yeah, because what's the harm? You can meet an amazing person, male or female, that way. But usually I observe first. And then, like I said, if they're like kind of, I'm not even going to say antisocial, because I'm not antisocial. I'm selectively social.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, people are like, no, I'm selected based off of energy. I'm not going to just be in, different circles. No. I have to be discerning. I really do. So yeah. So I think it's the vibe they give off, you know. And then the smile. If they do smile, smile means, hey, I'm warm, I'm inviting. If you're not smiling, I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? Kind of like the brothers always tell us, hey, baby girl, smile a little bit. They always tell us that because we be so serious that what they say, the resting bitch face that we have sometimes. Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
We be in deep thought. We got a lot of stuff going on. That's why.
Look at Gary. She thick. I like it. Okay, Gary. Yes. So are you opposed to approaching a gentleman that you are interested in?
No, if we make eye contact and he keeps looking at me and I'm looking at him, I'm going to come over. I'm going to come over and introduce myself. Because I'm a flirt. I'm very flirtatious. And I break the ice. I mean, and sometimes, that person can be married and it's like, I respect that. I do respect the different unions. I really do respect that. And then I know that, hey, we can just, here's my card, hey, purchase some products from me. Hey, you trying to have a baby? So I'm not opposed to approaching a brother at all. But after that, he's going to have to, boss up.
See, and and I agree with you, and that's just me. Like I have no problem letting you know that I'm interested. Let's open this door. Just so you know, here's the key, sir. You're welcome to. Now, mind you, I might change the lock, and if you move too slow, however, here's the key for now. And if you're interested, there's the door. Yeah. But I think that's enough. So, how do you feel about female proposals? Come on, give me the politically correct answer. Go, give me the politically correct answer. I saw it. She was like,
"It's not for me." I think these roles, these gender roles, society made up those roles. I don't like, according to the traditional gender roles. It's not ideal, but that's their relationship. If she want to propose to her man, so be it. That's not my problem. I'm worried about me and mine. That's how I feel like. People gonna do what they want to do. Again, this judgment thing, it's like, you do you, honey. If it works for y'all, but that ain't gonna happen to me. I'm not to no man. No.
And look, the absoluteness of your response is so fly. You was like, in your hope, like, that's what I'm telling you. This is okay. So this was like my soul, my masterful draw to you. Like, not just when I met you. I think we were at the Sherman Phoenix at the Vibes, not just then, but also at what is that sister's name? When we were at the spot on Harwood.
Oh yeah. But I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Okay. So even in both of those places, there's such it's not like some people would be like, oh, she a little, little stiff about some. Listen, wait, let me tell you how I love her absoluteness. Like, I'm absolutely feminine. I'm absolutely beautiful. I'm absolutely sexy. I'm absolutely up in this motherfucker today. That's what I loved that about you. Like, when I saw that, I was like, okay.
Yeah, you gotta be fine by yourself. Like, I moved to Milwaukee by myself in 2007. Okay. So you have to be comfortable in certain circles, new circles out there. And then that you will attract your tribe. People will love your vibe. And that's all I want. I don't ever force myself into groups. It's like, if I gravitate towards you and you gravitate towards me, then it's divine. If it's not, then I keep it moving. Say hi and bye. Nice meeting you. That's it. And I love like your energy. Like, you're just, and it makes sense that you're a Gemini. You're very open and flowy as well. Like you are like a reflection of me. And I'm like, that's why it makes sense. It makes total sense. And you're liberated. And I love that too. And when I remember seeing you at, it was like the erotic poetry
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, come on now. Like, yeah.
I'm so glad. I'm so mad that COVID shut down. I had a whole something planned for 2020. Yeah. I was about to light the little city up because Milwaukee is a little square, little square around the edges. But I know that there is a community here that is interested in being comfortable in this space.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to provide an opportunity for that to be a thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people automatically assume that means I want to host orgies and shit. Like that's the first thing. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I need you to get yourself together because intimacy is not just group fucking. Sir, ma'am, let's get it together.
Yeah.
But I'm honored to be able to be a part of creating this space here in such a what's the word I'm looking for? A religious community, because this city has a strong religion, not spiritual, strong religious say and
do it like this. And
yes.
Yeah.
Very structured in these spaces. And I know that this is like frowned upon. And trust me, there are family members of mine who are specifically like, I support everything you do. I just don't get that headboard thing. I'm like, I know you're not comfortable with talking about sex, but I am. And I think that if the more we talk about sexuality, the less it becomes frightening. And it puts people in a position to either defend themselves or be in a space where they aren't forcing themselves or acceptance on others. You know what I mean? Like it's happening too frequently because people are stuck in the idea and they don't know how to read body language. Like some people, schizos and other folks who have mental illnesses, create an entire scenario mentally on what they perceived your body language to be. You get what I'm saying? And then they create their own right now for this moment. And I think that having these conversations creates an opportunity to help dilute some of that, so it's clearer. You know what I mean? And he's not or she's not in a position where she said, "Well, I assumed you meant no, sir, no, ma'am. No, sir, no, ma'am." That is not what I meant, and it's not okay for you to A, B, and C, whatever A, B, and C is. And I think I'm excited about being able to share that, and I get geeked when I hear people say, "Oh, I want to talk about this," or "Me and my mate were watching, and then we were able to talk about this." Yes.
Things are being removed through your conversations. I love that. I like it's a blessing for me to be a part of this, because when you think about sex, that's how we got here. Like there's nothing taboo about it, and people who are ashamed or very discreet and they don't want to talk about it, I always like to ask, when was the last time you had an orgasm? Because there's a blockage. Somewhere. And it could be from growing up in the church or sexual molestation or just something internalized. Like, it's like, no, we have to be free. We have to be liberated and heal from it. And I think these conversations are very important because we're educated women, and people out here acting a damn fool, doing it all wrong, really dysfunctional, breeding.
You better come on.
But it's like we need to have these educated conversations, because maybe people will talk about it and then they'll research some things and then we'll heal from it and have some amazing orgasmic sex.
Did you say that again? Yes, please. Yes, please. I'll have 2 of those.
Girl, me too.
I'll have 2 of those. Yes. So, oh my gosh. Okay. So thinking about being able to share with like just our openness and being able to have this conversation and being able to be comfortable with who you are, and teaching other people that type of comfortability and removing these blockages. This is just a recap of everything that we talked about. Removing these blockages for creating good positive energy flow, as well as opening the doors for understanding our bodies, creating that language so that we can understand our partners and ourselves, and being all into the space and all into the self, creating that energy. Okay, now we got what we talked about, how we want to be available and dope for others. We put that right over to here. What does Tam love?
Like pertaining to what?
That's what I'm talking about. Let's explore a little bit of that. Like, okay, so let's what does Tam love? Tam says she like to be cater to me. Like, but what do you love in that retrospect? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to be you want your brow caressed? Do you want someone to speak? Listen, I found this book reading thing. I don't even know what it was, but it was this man and he was reading these stories and he had this voice, and I was like, bitch, I need 3 of them. So whoever this man is in his voice. So I want to be talked to that way, or whatever. Like, what do you love that makes you feel that excuse me, not makes you feel, but adds to the feeling that you already have of, you know, that magical feeling. Like, what do you love?
Well, I love a safe place. I love a safe, because when you're in a safe place with a partner, and I'm assuming you're talking about that, when you're in a safe place with a partner, your inhibitions can be lowered. I love that. Like, seriously, I can be me, no judgment. We can have open conversations about our desires. I love that aspect. Okay. You know? I love a man who's open-minded, like sexually, and I'm not, and open-minded is broad. Like, hey, open-minded can be, hey, is he bisexual, hetero-flexible? But he has to be open-minded, oral, kink. What kind of kinks does he like? Because, you know, we all have our own kinks. And
look, look, I leather,
like you have your own kinks. My kinks is rope play. I love rope play. You know, it's just something about that. I love teasing. I am a teaser out this world. I think the flirtation side of me is like, I will tease you all day, make you wait, just because. I mean, you're gonna get it, but you ain't gonna get it now. You know, so I just love that openness, that playfulness, you know, and that intellectual side, and also that spiritual side, because like the former sister, she said it's a mind, body, spirit, you know, connection, and that's important to me. You know, I'm past that, you know, fuck them and leave them stage. I can do it, but
yeah, I can do it, but
yeah, I can do it, you know, and it may come, you know, Valentine's Day, you know, it may, you know, got that itch and I scratched it, but I'm looking for substance. You know, substance in the way I want it. So,
and rules. What'd you call it?
I said I make my own rules. Like the older I get, the more I'm learning. Fuck what society says on how to do things. You make your own rules that align with what you do. You know, if you have a goal, then meet that goal. However you want to meet that goal.
Nice.
That's how I'm living my life right now.
So, are you a mood setter when it comes to intimacy? So, like, we talking candles, music,
I do wax play, and I sell candles. You know, erotic candles. Yeah, I love that as well. Rope play, candle play, that's my kink. Yeah, the flogging, I love that. I think that is that's special to me with the right partner.
He's like, special.
Yeah, look, I have a flashback. I'm like, that's special to me.
I know, I love that. I love that you were sharing that space with us, because you know what I'm saying? Like I love that you're comfortable enough to share that. That's a good thing. That means that, you know what I'm saying, we've made you comfortable enough to be like, had to have those moments. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you know, it's like, why be ashamed of that? Like, people, it's so many sisters out here and brothers who would love to do that and learn that, but their partner's not open. And it's like, hey, you know, you ain't the only one out here that likes that. Hey, how about we have a class where we can teach you how to do it right?
How about it?
Code words, you know, like, our people need to like get over ourselves. That really, like you said, the religious aspect of it, you know, like, liberate yourself. Have a couple beautiful orgasms. Like, I think that's how they need to lighten up. Get you some on Valentine's Day, y'all. Get y'all some, or have y'all some orgasmic sex. You know, open your mind. That's gonna, like, you know, that's gonna transfer all kind of energy and remove blockages. Get y'all some. Loosen up.
Did you hear what she said? Y'all heard what she said. And then the woman said, "Get y'all some." That's yes.
Either from somebody or from yourself. You know.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you, like, one time, so recently, I'm gonna say recently. When I mean recently, I mean within the last 5 years or so, because I have to say that to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine had purchased me a actual vibrating dildo for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first one I'd ever had, like, seriously, because I was like, I would just make a phone call, Mama. She was like, I hear you. There's nothing wrong with the phone call. Trust me, sis. And I was like, and she gave it to me on air while we was on air on the radio. So I couldn't deny that I had it. You understand what I'm saying? So the experiences that I've had since then with the different things to try, to understand that side of it, because I was always I could just have him do it.
Yeah.
Type person, even though I or me, you know what I'm saying? But learning the different additives and things like that, or whatever the case, and think penetrable stimulation. I'm big on topical or clitoral stimulation or whatever, but learning the benefits of penetrable stimulation, and I have to say that so people understand that there's different levels and different things in that or whatever. I ain't gonna even tell you that I broke a wine bottle one time, and it. I was like, I don't fuck with me.
I don't know how you broke a wine bottle. I would love to hear that, like a short story of that. Like, where was the wine bottle?
It was up to the side. It was when I wasn't using it. It was on the side. Okay. I didn't use the wine bottle. It was close to me.
That's something new.
When I knocked it over, and then I couldn't get up to fix anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was dead to life. I knew that I had changed in my life in that moment. I was
you gave up the ghost. That's what I call it. You gave up the ghost.
You understand? And I feel like all people should have that type of experience. Like, you should know what that's like. And when I talk to women specifically, and I hear them say, I don't know, I never had no orgasm. I said, you be getting humped on like silly, like Mr. Humped on silly.
Yep.
And then like a part of me weep a little bit. I'm like, no, ma'am. How can we help change that experience? It'll change a whole lot of stuff about you. Because no, thank you, no, sir, no, ma'am. I don't never want to be humped on like Mr. Humped on silly, because it was so unengaging. And I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm so thankful she had Suge. If you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody had to teach her how to truly enjoy intimacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some of y'all ain't got no Suges in y'all life. So how would you encourage, or what would you, and how do you invite that type of exploration to our sisters? And then we'll talk about it to the guys.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a mental blockage. It's still that shame there. And then I think some sisters feel like it's not our job to make sure that we have an orgasm. It just falls all on the man. And if he can't do it, then we're just kind of shit out of luck. And it's like, no, if I have sex with you, I'm going to come. And I know I'm going to come because I have pleasured myself in the past to know what I like. And so I can alter positions to hit my special spots so that I can come vaginally, So I think that's what works for me. But I mean, I really do think it's a blockage. I really do. I really do.
I'm a firm believer also in mental wellness. And I believe in getting some assistance, and a lot of people don't have. A lot of people, dispute the idea of therapy. And I'm like, you probably find a professional to talk to. And though we talk to our sister friends and some people in our family, we have a confidant or whatever. I think that having a professional be able to walk you through some things that you may not, and it don't have to be a psychotherapist, but someone who understands or may be able to recognize where you are in the journey in a way that you don't. You know what I mean? And to be able to help to guide you through that space and help you to the next space so that you can be free, man.
Yeah. It's people who have been in relationships for years and years and just have mediocre sex or no sex at all. And that's really sad. Like, it really is. I mean, and maybe, I know we have our different needs in relationships, but sex is really important. Like, for me, like that brings me closer to my partner. It can help me, it soothes me, it heals me, because I'm very selective with my partner, like energetically. I don't just be out here, busting it like that challenge, like, no.
Please don't bust for everybody. Please don't.
I don't be, I'm very selective.
Thank you.
So yeah, we gotta do better because sex heals us, the right kind of sex, but you have to be mindful. You have to be aware, but it's a lot of work. A lot of work needs to be done, but we are a part of the work. So
indeed, she said sex heals us. Y'all caught that right. I want to repeat that. Sex heals us.
Yeah.
And the right kind of sex. The right kind of sex. I think it's freeing. It reduces stress. I mean, don't make me go to the medical since y'all want to be funny. Like, seriously,
go there. They need to hear that
because, like, legitimately speaking, you get what I'm saying. It reduces stress. It helps with reduce heart tension. So it minimizes your chances at having a heart attack. Because of that, it also reduces your reduces your chances of stroke. It changes your hormonal imbalances, which helps you maintain, again, a healthy mindset, a healthy heart, healthy cardiovascular system. Additionally, whether that is physically, whether that's vaginally or orally, because oral sex creates and releases endorphins that makes you just naturally feel good, and the amount of protein exchange offers some what's the word I'm looking for? I know other people think it's not, but it is. What is that? When you eat, what is it called? Oh my gosh,
I'm not sure.
No, I forgot when you eat. And you have nutritional value. There it is, nutritional balance. Because that's what, like, seriously, and I know people trip on that or whatever the case may be. And I'm not saying that, like, when what you eat is projected through your body. Now, I found out the hard way that if I eat seafood and my partner is allergic to seafood and he eats me, then it's gonna go all bad for him. If I'm allergic to seafood and he eats seafood, then we straight. So the exchange of the way our bodies expel as women and the way our bodies expel as men is different. Learn all these things, people. Like, it's not, it's a thing. Like, what he eats and what he drinks, you can taste that in his semen. You know what I'm saying? And your body fluid. Listen, let me.
Yeah.
Please don't be out here. But people do so bad, and we're gonna have a whole show on what to eat and what not to eat before and how long it takes for your body to process these things before you are sexually engaged. And because your body, it doesn't take a long time. Like, you can eat. Don't go out and eat steak and asparagus and then go home and hump and expect it to be a delicious meal, because it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then afterwards, after the meal, ejaculates, he has to, refuel himself, give himself back the proper nutrients that he lost through ejaculation. So it's deep. And, I talked about my clients about that. A lot of my clients, the women, they are on a more holistic lifestyle path.
Okay.
Their partners are not. They're eating the steaks and asparagus and stuff like that. And the women are more vegan or fruitarians. And it's like, it doesn't balance, it's not balanced. And so it's the proper education. We have to properly educate ourselves. We really do.
So now what you just said, like, I can see. Okay, Patrice, get it together real quick. This is how I be feeling. Like, you like, okay, so my female clients are into holistic eating, doing well, trying to get stuff together, and their partners are not.
No.
These cats out here just putting anything in your body, and then you put all of that in me,
Mm-hmm.
and expect us to produce
Mm-hmm.
what? What are we producing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A mess and nothing.
That's where the support comes in. We have to hold, our male counterparts. We have to hold them responsible as well, because they're affecting us. So many married women. I'm not talking about my clients, but married women I know, family, friends, and they have consistent yeast infections and BV from their partners, and it's normal to them. And I'm sorry, I can't be with a partner that throws me off all the time. Like I shouldn't have to have boxes of Monistat. Under no. So, we have to we really have to have talks like this in our community, because that's not okay. It's not okay. We have to heal. We have so much healing to do on so many levels.
On so many levels. And I know, again, pre-COVID, we were talking about you and I hosted an event about let me say polyamory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, did I use the right word, right?
Yeah, polyamory. Yep.
I used the right, because I was explaining to someone like, no, polygamous, polygamy, polyandry, and polyamory. I said it's different things. I said they all sound the same, but they're not.
And people just put it all as one, and it's like, no, it's not. It's so many subcategories too. I'm like, whoo, it's a lot. It's a lot. It is a lot. And again, we have our own ideals of it. Oh, you polyamory. Oh, so you like threesomes. You like orgies. No. Oh my gosh. Proper education.
It's real. Like the lack of education. I want the lack of information. Like, what did you just say? No, sir, no, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
No, sir, no, ma'am. What did you? No, I don't want that. I don't want that. That's not. And a matter of fact, that's not what this is. And I have to explain to people all the time, whether it's on Headboard Conversations or live with just Patrice.
Yeah.
I explain to people all the time that a stop sign and a yield sign are the same color, but they are not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As a matter of fact, they're similar.
Yeah.
But one requires a complete halt of action.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? That means this ain't the same thing as a rolling stop. Baby, listen. Like, these are the conversations that happen, and people misuse words, and that's why I'm really particular about what the word means and not and being. Even though there are sometimes, I take some liberties, I take creative liberty with language.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it's important that if you are communicating, you can't make up a word without giving me the definition of it or changing the word of a common communication, a common word that we have in our common communication, and expect me to just know. Can you tell me that you changed the meaning?
Mm-hmm.
And what that means and what that looks like for you, because I'm going to assume that it goes by this definition that the world and everybody else is using.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the same thing with intimacies, same thing with exchanges. Like, if you don't communicate to me what that means for you, you know what I mean? Or that there's a difference. We can't necessarily assume that we're on the same page. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's say, hey, so when I say I have no zones or there's anything I'm willing to do, I mean anything but this. I mean, that should be obvious. Well, what does that mean? So if a man tells me, I'm telling you right now, I tell people all the time, if a man says to me, Trice, I'm willing to do anything. You can't never tell me. Do you see I got on a whole leather mask and a vest and there is a gag ball in my lap? Sir, you can't say anything to me.
Yeah.
You know what anything means? So I can use this thing and put it in your anus? Oh, no. I ain't.
Exactly.
I would like to stimulate your prostate.
Right.
Is that
the conversations need to be had? Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or since you won't let me do that, can I just lift up your scrotum and then apply the vibration to that little space that right there? Your perennial.
Mhm.
And put it there. And can I give you the stimulation there? No,
Right.
that's too close. Well, just a few minutes ago, you said anything, sir.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Why you got that's demasculating? Okay, so now we need to talk.
Oh my gosh. You're on it. You're on it. That's why conversations need to be had. And then and it is a double standard. I know you talked about the feminism and things. It's a double standard. Like, if we say, "Oh, we don't do that. We don't do that." You approve. No. That's just my preference.
Come on now. No, I'm absolutely not. But okay, so if you want me to do it, no problems. How do you feel about? Oh man, I'm not doing it. Oh, you approve.
Mhm.
Oh, now it's tit for tat. It's not a tit for tat thing.
No.
Trying to provide you an opportunity to understand.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
And then sometimes you may meet somebody and you might have said, "I don't do that with him," and then you meet this fine brother that just opens you to a whole nother world, and and then you be like, "Man, I know I told Jimmy over here that I don't do this, but man, he got my nose wide open, and I'm more." It's crazy how that happens. It really is.
But you understand? You see, and that tells me that statement alone just tells me that it's all about communication and comfortability.
Yep, feeling safe.
You want to create me a safe space so I can trust you.
Yeah.
No, not only that you are not going to cause me harm, you get what I'm saying, but you are, and harm doesn't mean a physical harm. It could be emotional, mental, physical, whatever the case may be. You're not going to cause me harm, and I'm okay to try these things or okay to do these things. And you may never know what we come up with, sir, man. Never know. You'd be like, I didn't know you had did that. I probably didn't know I did it either, but today I did it.
But the brothers need to listen to us. I hope brothers, you're out here listening to us and taking notes, because providing a safe space for the sisters is so important. You want her to be more open, provide that safe space.
Do you remember back in the day when they used to say, black girls don't give head?
Yeah.
Do you remember why we weren't quote unquote allowed to give head without open ridicule? You know what I'm saying? So we couldn't please our partners. We weren't allowed to satisfy them in that manner without being demeaned,
labeled. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Like, so it was okay for non-black people. That's how I'm gonna say that today in February, in the February Black History Month. It was okay for non-black people to do whatever, whenever, and to allow you to do whatever, whenever to them. But if a sister said, "You know what? I trust you in this space, or I want to trust you in this space, so let's experience this together." Like, oh, she this, she that, she that. Why do I get the label?
Yeah, there is a label. Yeah.
Why do you get to demean me or make me feel less than? Do you have that high of a regard for me, which is a good thing, but then treat me in a capacity, let me know that you have me in that regard, and that you wouldn't do, you rather not see me in these positions or in this predicament, so that you can keep me in the same regard without making me feel like shit because I wanted to satisfy my carnalness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or I wanted to help you satisfy yours.
Yeah. Without the labels.
Without the labels, without the restriction, without
it's like, we humans are walking contradictions. We really are. And it's just sad. It really is sad when you think about it. But it's up to us to free ourselves. Like, we do have to. We have to. Like, people are going to label us whatever they want. Oh, she's poly. She, all kind of rumors probably going around. I don't care. I know who I am. And those who know me know who I am and know who I mess with. Ain't nobody from here.
I love that laugh, though. I love that laugh.
Be a hoe. Be a discreet hoe.
Well.
Go outside your state. Don't let everybody in Milwaukee. That's a whole nother conversation. Girl, we don't have to talk.
I listen, yes, please, because I'm like, it's so interesting. Like, I met a sister recently who was not very welcoming, which is a not a common experience for me, because obviously, you know, I'm like, hey, how's it going? You know, I'm very easygoing, opening, especially with women. Now, I ain't gonna tell you, I ain't gonna even lie. I stiff shoulder, snub nose a dude in a minute, because I don't want you to feel like you got that type of leeway. So here, I want to set a standard and a boundary immediately, and then so I can. But for women, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Whatever the case may be. And when a sister turn her nose down or turn her nose up at me, and she looked down her nose at me for whatever reason, just trying to understand, like, for what though? And trying to I mean, it happens. I ain't tripping. I know that it happens, and I didn't let it like shut me off. But I just looked at her and was like, okay, I don't know where you are in that space. I'm gonna let you have that, but please understand, I'm not gonna reciprocate it.
Yeah,
If you want to have that space, you want to walk in that energy, you just gonna have to do it on your own. I ain't better help you, because I ain't better help you. I got too much other things going on. If that's what you want, okay.
Don't worry about that. Like,
Like,
it sucks for you, because you could have got to know an awesome person. Like, you can't worry about that. Like, it wasn't a loss.
You know, I just wish that it was less of that. You know what I mean? Less of that. And I love that people see, like the conversation you and I are having in our engagement, and they see that type of positive engagement between Black women.
Yeah.
You know, specifically because, boy, they give us such a hard time.
Oh, yeah.
We got such a hard time out here in these streets. But to see this conversation and see the camaraderie and to see the connection, and I love to be able to be a part of that demonstration. So thank you.
Yeah, especially in Milwaukee.
Especially here.
Especially in Milwaukee. Yeah. So yeah, keep doing what you're
So
doing.
you moved here from where?
I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Ooh, she said Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. That's how you know it's real, because I would have been like, she's from Indianapolis.
You know, we got that country twang.
She's from Indianapolis. I would have clearly said she's from Indianapolis. Indianapolis. No, she's from Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
I love it. Indianapolis. And how do you feel, like, what's your take on the state of herbal intake in the country? Like whether CBD or THC or this new Delta 8 strand that they done got away with creating, so that they can't stop them from smoking it. They a trip. Anyway, the people are a trip. and all the chemists that's can say, oh, so we can't use this strand, but this strand ain't illegal. Bam, bam, bam. Let's make this happen. And, oh my God. Okay, so what's your take on?
Look, I honor the herbs. You know, herbs are for healing, but you have to honor it. You have to know the dosage. You know, it can be used medicinally. It can be used for therapies, and it can be misused, you know, as substance abuse. You know, I'm all for it. I come from a very liberal family, you know. And I can always say, when you compare it to alcohol, you know, I saw my family and friends, they'll have, you know, some Hennessy or some Grey Goose, and they'll be fighting and cussing everybody out. But when everybody back in the day was smoking joints, everybody was cool, loving, he and ha. And so it's medicine, and they need to hurry up and legalize it, because people doing it anyway.
Yeah, they are. I feel like we in the days of, was it prohibition? Is that what it was? When is that smoking or drinking? When they were there anyway, when we couldn't do something, people was doing it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I know you and I, we create our own CBD products and everything. It is healing. It is so healing. Like, it can even help with fertility. You know,
yes,
like, and menstrual cramps, and so it helps with so many things. Like, depends on, you know, indica, like it depends. It really does, and people need to remove this negative stigma, because I mean, like, I invest in cannabis stocks, and it's just a shame that so many of our Black brothers and sisters were locked up for so many years, when so many of our other counterparts who are non-Black are capitalizing off of it, and I can buy stocks off of it, and people still locked up. It's the
Yes,
craziest
right
stuff
now.
ever.
Right now.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's absolutely bananas. So how do people find your products? Like, because we didn't even touch on your products. And I mean, I think I believe that what's the name of the song? At the top there's room for all. I
Mhm.
believe that it's the bottom that's crowded. So whatever, you know what I mean? I'm all about sharing the love and being able to, like, something you may create may work something differently than what I may create.
Yeah.
And I want people to have whatever they need. Have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let's talk a little bit about some of your products. Like, what products do you create?
Well, since we're on the topic of CBD, I do create tinctures with CBD. I have the womb healer, which is really good for cramping. It's a nervine. It helps with relaxing your nerves, and it also regulates your hormones. I have the Get Up and Get It Wet. They're aphrodisiacs. They, what aphrodisiac do? They increase your blood flow in certain regions.
I like to Get Up and Get It Wet. Is that what there's two different ones? Is that what they called?
Yeah, good. So Get It Wet is for the women, and the
Yes,
Get is for the men. And
yes.
it works. Look, I'm just laughing because I don't even use it because I'm already pretty fertile and amorous, but it works. And then I have other spiritual products. I sell smudge sticks and incense and all kind of candles, erotic candles and things like that. So
now, erotic candles. What's an erotic candle?
They're shaped as a vagina and a penis, and people use it for different rituals depending on the color. So yeah, that's not on my site right now because there's some legality stuff that I'm dealing with right now, so I had to take it off my site, but I still have those to purchase. Yeah.
And how do we reach? Yeah, because I feel like I don't need to be fertile, but what I need to know what that's happening because I just like the way it sounds. And
Yeah, so a lot of times, a lot of women buy it to attract, or men, they do it to attract the mate. Like I have some people, like my darker ones, they use it to, for whatever reasons they want to. Like, some people want to hex people. That's their business. They ain't got nothing to do with that. But other people want to attract, a mate. And so it's really, really awesome during this the energy of Valentine's Day, even though the whole story was kind of tragic, but
yeah, St. Valentine's is awful.
Mhm.
Man,
Yeah.
it's awful.
Awful story. Yeah, but
It's awful story.
really crazy, right?
Right, dude. No, thank you. But
Yeah.
look, I'm rubbing my chin talking about these candles.
They are beautiful. I would show you, but like I said, maybe some co-workers watching, and
We don't want that. Could you just send me to the inbox or something?
I will. They're beautiful. They are so beautiful.
I could only, but imagine, could you just send me to the inbox?
I will.
I feel like I need a little something.
Yeah, they are beautiful. I take pride in them because I make them from a mold, but the colors and the energy I put into them, it makes it really special.
See, when I hear stuff like that, I be like, what else can you make from the mold? Because I want to see the mold. I'm so
Look, girl.
I'm so terrible. What other kind of mold can you put resin in it and make it resin? Okay, let me.
You know what? I probably could. Yeah, but that's a lot of Oh, Lord.
Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Don't listen.
No, because I'm like, aha, like that moment came. I could probably, probably could do it.
Resin and put some nice little crystals on the end.
And glitter, and I might have to look into that.
Well, I like it. Yes.
Like, what in the world is that? Damn, Tam.
Yeah, that's okay. They're gonna be like, damn, Trice, what is that? Well, Tam had made yeah.
It's like an Aladdin lamp. Just stroke it for good luck. Shit. How about that?
Who loves the idea of that?
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea. I love that you have taken the time to talk with us today and be able to share this just energy. And I know a lot of people who don't get a chance to see people like, what y'all be talking about? I'm like, when people hear talking about sex, they think that all you be talking about is ways to fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, it's only a couple of ways that you could do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like seriously, like when you really look at it, you know what I'm saying? There's only a couple ways that you can do it. It's a list, but it's the same list. Oh, I'll be hanging off the thing. It's the same as this one, sir.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I'm saying? You can only enter the vagina at so many angles. You can only enter the anus at so many angles, or you know, it's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
There's other things that are important though to be able to communicate that we like, that create a stimulus, that create an arousal. You know, to be able to do that, you know, and talking about fertility and understanding when your body is aroused, talking about things that you can do to connect your energy with your partner's energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that when you are building, you don't, whatever it is that you are building, you know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. Like, I'd be so excited about that. Like, this is like totally everything that I thought it would be.
Aww.
For me,
and I didn't know what I was getting into, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to flow with it, and I know it's going to be perfect, and it was exactly what it was supposed to be. So I thank you, too. I thank you for having me. I really do appreciate you.
This is absolutely great. So your website information is?
You can reach me at taminspires.com, and that's together, taminspires.com. And yeah, and also on Instagram at Tam Inspires. Yeah.
Instagram at Tam Inspires, taminspires.com. You said yes? Okay. I know I briefly run over really quick before I was going to just do a couple like a rapid fires or whatever. So what kind of music do you listen to set your energy for intimacy?
Ooh, I like I like old school, like Teddy Pendergrass, Al Green. Sometimes I like Silk, you know, like it's mainly old school music. Like for men. It's really not, well, you know, I like a little Janet Jackson. And yeah, so yeah.
What song was that?
Like In the Thunder and Rain.
Hey,
yeah, it's not a lot of new school people I listen to a lot.
Okay. Okay. And then what kind of how important is scent to you?
It's very important.
Okay. So like what scents do you like to place in a space, to set a space? Like I see you creating, I like this when I imagine, like, so Tam is getting ready to get it in, right? Like Tam, like she done planned the day because she know it's going down later. So, and every little part of this day is something that's happening and creating, you know what I'm saying, to build up to this day, because all of this foreplay matters.
Right.
So it's what you've eaten for the day, what you drank for the day, what you smelled for the day. What like give me a day, Tam. Like make me have it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm a very earthy sister. So I love my cinnamons. That's more spicy. I got a little spice. I like cedar wood. I love patchouli, cognac scents, a lot of masculine scents. I really love those scents. A little lavender. That's usually, and I like the lights. As you can tell, I have lights.
I love that. Yeah.
On the other side. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The music, I have candles everywhere, and you know, I am the mood usually. I really am the mood.
I almost knocked my mic over. Bam, what? She said, I am the mood.
Like seriously, like I am the damn mood. I really am.
I love that. Yes.
You know, like the energy I bring. It's like, man, like these brothers be feeling it. You know? Like, I can't even explain it. It's inexplicable.
Well, I understand that because I can even see it through this video. That's why I'm saying, I'm like, dude, it's like in your shoulder, it's in your body language, it's in your movement, it's in like that's so fly to me. I'm like, mama.
I'm a seductress. I need to teach a class on that.
You like, well, maybe we should have a class.
Yeah, like I mean, but it is all in the like
it's in all of that.
Not twerking your hips, but baby, girl, like it's in the shoulders, it's in the neck, it's in the hair, like it's deeper than that. It's in the fingers, like when they do the, it's in the
Yes,
like
yes.
it's crystallized.
Yeah, you see this? I'm so geeked. Yes,
man, like they don't know sensuality like that. They just caught up on just twerking the fat on their ass. That's it. It's like, baby, I got a little ass, but I guarantee I can intrigue your man. I can. Oh my gosh! Like they just don't know the seduction. They don't know the power of seduction. They do not.
The power of seduction. I like that, Tam. I like that, Tam.
And you don't look at me, fully clothed. I got a little. My shoulders are one of my best assets.
Well, I mean, you have great shoulders, and you carry them like you present them very, very, very tantalizingly.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like it's in every. Like I'm like, so like, is it just like anybody else catching this? 'Cause golly.
Yeah, it's the little things that I learned. It's like everybody's out here doing this, dressing like this. I have to be Tam. Being Tam just means, hey, your hair's down, put a little lip thing, eyes, and then show your shoulders.
Yeah. You have really nice shoulders.
Thank you.
And some people, this is gonna sound so strange to some people, but they're very feminine.
Mm-hmm.
You have very soft, and your frame is very alluring as opposed to hard and abrasive, like block. Like you have a very soft, like come hither as energy. That's hot. That's hot. Like I'm like, okay, and anybody that knows me, and I have to say this just to be clear, whatever. I'm not that you would be questioning, but anybody, I am like 1,000% heterosexual. Like I'm so hetero that it get on some people's nerves. However, like seriously, because they be like, you don't even know. Well, what about no?
But you honor the divine feminine.
But I honor it because how could you not? Especially when you present it the way that you present it, Tam.
Yeah.
Especially when you show up with her like, yeah, we're here. Do you see this?
Yeah, look, we're gonna have to do something on this, like seducing a man. Like, well, I want all the women to wear a turtleneck or a little shirt like this. No, you ain't gotta show cleavage. You ain't gotta really wear nut tight. Let's just work on this energy. Okay? Teach our young girls that they don't have to. There ain't nothing wrong with twerking. Twerking's healing too. But it's something like when you walk in the room fully clothed and like you like all the men look at you, and the women, there's something about her. Now that's powerful.
Do you understand?
That's powerful.
And that right there is like the dopest way to put a little cap on the end of tonight's conversation. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your openness, for your honesty. Just thank you for being you and allowing our guests to participate in that. I'm so geeked about that. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Many blessings.
Okay. So we're going to get ready to head up out of here. I want to shout out to those listening to blowradio.com for your energy, for your time. You know how we do every Wednesday right here on blowradio.com. It is your host, Madam Trice, and I'm so excited that you spent your evening and your time with us. And I want to thank you for that. So until next week, don't forget, before you get into bed, you gotta take your pants off. I'll holler.
The headboard, the headboard, lay your body down. It's about to go down. We'll be banging it all night. Banging the headboard. I'll touch you right there, baby. Let's talk about it. We'll be bringing that headboard out. Let's talk about it. Tell me about it. I wanna hear about it. Yeah. Can't wait to hear and more.
Good night, everyone.